Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're here on Tuesday night, which means that once again, we are heading into Battle World. Kills with me, Eric, and of course, Coriander. Tonight, guys, going back to the 80s, man, into Vamp World. It's going to be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen, man. For you guys that are here with us in the chat, thank you so much for coming to hang out. We appreciate that. Just to give a blanket hello to you guys, we got Super Tenor. What's up, man? Saying this will be a good battle. That's exactly what we thought. That's exactly what we thought. We got Atrol in the chat. What's up? Elm Street is in the house, and this will be a tough one. All right. Ronan's in the house, saying this won't be a tough one for me. Oh, okay. All right. RJ, this is hard because I love both. There you go. We got Paula in the house. What's up, Paula? Good to see you. We got Melissa as well. Julie is with us. Thank you for being here, Julie. We appreciate that. Definitely awesome to have you and helping out with moderating. Melissa has a channel member anniversary for a year. She made it to a year. All right.
Good for you.
Awesome.
Very cool. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. We appreciate the support, Melissa. David, what's up, David? Saying, been waiting on this one. Yeah. Yes. Yes. What's up to Gina and also to Jean? All right. Woohoo. And Melissa won't let me forget. She's like, I asked for this also last week. There you go. That's awesome. All right. Well, listen. MK, what's up? Good to see you too. Let's do this. Let's get official. Let's get official. Eric, who do we have in corner number 1 for tonight's battle?
Okay. Well, it's tough being the new kid in town, but it's actually tougher being the new kid in the state. You know, you need to start over with everything. New job, possibly a new girlfriend, most likely new friends. But what happens if the new friends you make do a little bit more than, the usual hazing of the new kid? What if they want to make you part of the group, even if it's against your will, and it'll make you a member of the blood-sucking Brady Bunch? Well, lucky for you, your little brother has also made some new friends, and they live for this stuff, even if they don't realize how in over their heads they are. So make sure to read those horror comics, fill your bathtub with holy water, and stay off of Grandpa's second shelf in the refrigerator, because these competitors never grow old, never die, and they aren't from Never Never Land. These are David and his Lost Boys.
All right. Okay. Coriander, who do we have in the second corner?
So you just want to live a normal teen life. You have a great girlfriend named Amy and a buddy called Evil. You love to Netflix and chill to Peter Vincent, the vampire killer, and his primetime show. There's only one problem. You saw your new neighbor Jerry killing chicks, dumping the bodies, and doing something weird with the coffin. And worst of all, he knows he saw you. No, he knows you saw him. And is it your imagination? Could he be a vampire? Time to gear up, bribe an old horror actor into helping you. Be told you're so cool, Brewster. And pray Amy doesn't make you one of the undead. Welcome to Fright Night.
All right. Okay, Kill. We're going back to the 80s. This is well-worn territory for us.
Yeah.
Kill's commentary, man. What do you got for me?
Man, look, you're pulling at my heartstrings here. These are two vampire classics. You got two different types of vampires. You got smooth vampire Jerry, and you got the rough and tumble, Lost Boys, hanging out on the boardwalk. This is going to be a good one, man. I am looking forward to this one and seeing how this plays out.
That's right, man. I'm interested too, man. And I think that this is gonna be a barn burner. But hey, real quick, we gotta remind people one thing, Kill. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Who's the champ of Battle World? Who's the champ, Kill? Put respect on his name from New Jersey. Put respect on it.
You mean the two-time champ?
Two times.
That would be Jason Voorhees.
You're damn right. You see see how he was looking at you though?
Yeah, I like how he has a new victory pose.
He does,
Screenshot.
man.
That's good. It looks like he's about to get on his Harley.
That's what. Hey, Jason can pose too, baby.
Oh yeah.
All right, listen. I hear them, Kill. I hear them. I hear some flapping. I hear some walking in some expensive shoes, and I guess they're coming to the arena
on leathery wings.
On leathery wings. So for you guys in the chat, for you guys watching the replay, sit back, relax. Fright Night versus the Lost Boys. Here we go. You know what time it is.
Oh, you're so cool, Brewster.
I still want you, Lucy. Welcome to Fright Night. For real.
Look, can I just say something real quick? That's a cool mofo. He's a cool one.
Oh, he is.
He's not like David's dad over there. I still want you, Lucy. Yeah.
Right? Oh my God. For real. Cool. All right. I gotta stop doing this stuff, man. All right. So listen, real quick. So we're gonna go category by category. You guys know we're doing this, not based on our preference, but seriously based upon the category, who we think really deserves the point in the category, because this is going to be a tough battle. For you guys in the chat, we're trying to get to as many comments as we can. We can't get to them all, but if you send in a super chat, we'll make sure to get you your comment or question, and you can put the points of the super chat to the film of your choice. And we've already, this is almost like last week when Neil jumped off the bat with us, the week before, I should say. Ronan is coming in with a $50 super chat.
Hold my beer.
He says, I don't want this looked at as a $50 super chat. Consider it as 10 $5 super chats per round, 10 rounds, all of them towards the Lost Boys, starting with the very first round. Well, there we go. Good. Wow.
Right.
Respect.
Hey, man. Yes. Hey, listen, Ronan, seriously. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. You know that. Yeah. Very, very cool. That is. This is just like
what you got for him. What you got for him?
This is just like when
feels ready.
when Neil put 50 down on TCM. This is crazy. So we've already got 50 points. Unbelievable, man. All right, so I know, right? So Ronan, listen, man, we got to play a super chat clip for you. And Kill, you know, sometimes when you're having a lot of issues and stuff, you need some help, and you may get it from people you have no idea what the hell they're talking about. It might sound like this.
Where are you from, stranger?
Nowhere nice.
Yes, Bo.
Shut your hole!
Feel so good in my hood tonight.
Oh, yeah. That's what happens.
That's what happens.
All right. That's what happens. Ronan, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. He is repping the Lost Boys. Huge. DJ's in the house too. What's up, DJ? Good to see you. Oh my God. All right. So look, hey, real quick too. We got Trickster in the chat saying hello. Good to have you here. Hope you are doing well. Thank you for coming in.
Hello.
And
Yeah.
Ronan said WTF.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
much,
know.
Ronan. Pretty much.
I know, man. I know. Hey, man, we got some new ones for you, man. All right, so
Welcome to
listen,
Frogtown. That's a movie.
it
I'll
is
say
an
that.
actual movie. Yes.
It's a movie.
Yes. And look, we got another dude. This might be the first time we hear. We have another super chat coming in. Hollywood guys in the house. What's up, Hollywood guy? Thank you so much for the super chat. Saying this is for the greatest vampire movie, The Lost Boys. Wow.
Wow.
I mean,
Lost
we
Boys
should just end
coming.
it. They won.
Wow.
Sofa.
All right.
Oh,
So listen, I'm just saying, man, if you are a fan of Fright Night, this is your chance. Hollywood guy, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. We're going to put the 10 points to the Lost Boys. And listen, Kill.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you are the person that likes to do karaoke
Lord.
or you want to sing in the shower or something like that, sometimes you just shouldn't, because it might sound like this.
Every night I keep losing control. I want your body and soul. Every moment you look in my eyes, I've got you hypnotized.
Well, I never want a Pepsi again.
The look on you guys' face.
Okay, well, the Pepsi logo in the back, the guys dancing. What is
Two
what is
shadows.
going on?
Oh Lord. Okay. All right. Let's do this thing, man. Let's figure this thing out. All right. We're gonna go category by category. Eric, let's start this thing off as we always do. We're gonna talk about the poster work. All right. So we've got the poster for Fright Night, and then we've got the poster for the Lost Boys. Who gets the point and why?
Oh, this is easy. I'm going Fright Night.
There it is.
Lost Boys. It's kind of like when we've said, like when we do the Scream posters, it's just the floating heads. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're just there. I mean, it looks cool. They're in black and white. You got the red background. But Fright Night is just so cool. First off, the font of the title itself. I love how you have those little fangs from the F and the T. And then when you have this Amanda Burse in the clouds, like she's going to eat the actual house itself, and just the coloring of the clouds and her, it just looks so cool.
All right. Okay. So we've got Eric down for Fright Night for the poster. You guys in the chat, let us know, what is your favorite poster? Kill. Who should get the point? Is it the Fright Night poster or is it the Lost Boys poster?
This is extremely hard because I absolutely love both of these posters. The Fright Night one, I really love Amanda in the clouds. The house, that's not really how the neighborhood looked, but I can deal with that. You know, it's still fine. And like Eric said, I love the lettering. But if there's no lying here, I gotta go with the Lost Boys. Yes, it's a picture of just the stars in it, but this is young Hollywood at the time. This is like, you know, oh, he's in it, she's in it. Oh, you know, this is just great. And I love just the symmetry of how everything looks. Everyone gets a little bit of shine, and I love the red background, and I love the lettering of the Lost Boys. I've always loved this. I've seen this poster mimicked by like comic book characters, like the X-Men did a version of this.
That's right.
Yeah, and you know, I have a poster of the X-Men version of this poster. There's no line here.
Hey man, hey, can you send that to me? Can you send that to me?
I have to find it, but yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, you know, you're my brother, and I love you.
Yeah.
All right. Coriander, how about you? Which poster gets the point?
I mean, even if it's not the right house, I still am gonna go with Fright Night. You know, I think it's pretty cool. You know, Eric said it all, really. You know, I like the lettering that they used for the title, the name, and yeah, I like it. Not that Lost Boys is bad. It's not. You know, because who doesn't enjoy, you know, Jason Patrick, and he's like right there, the biggest one. So, you know, it's close, but yeah.
All right. Okay. And I know you had to wrestle with that because you're a huge Jason Patrick fan, man. Awesome. All right. For me, this is really tough, guys, because both posters are awesome. Let me just say that. And they're doing different things. And Kill, you made a good point too. Yes, this is and Eric, you said this too. This is definitely like what we had talked about in recent battles. You know how we kind of got into that era like Scream, where we just have the headshots of everyone. But I gotta admit, man, this is about as cool as it gets with the headshots. What's even cooler, and Kill, you said this, the red in the background and they're in black and white is very artistic. And everybody's there. Kiefer looks amazing. Everybody's just really cool. And another thing too, and I almost think we should have almost done this for a separate category, but the font for the Lost Boys is awesome. It really is. But there is no lying, and I'm going to give the point to Fright Night. And let me tell you why. This is a poster. I remember seeing this. Kill, you may not remember this. You know, we used to go to the video store. I remember seeing this at the video store, and it absolutely captivated me. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I need to know what that is. And it's just an amazing, this is great artwork, you know, especially from back in the day, for posters. And the font for the logo, the title for Fright Night is great too, equally as great as the Lost Boys. I just love the way, this is one of those posters that I want to get from my wall. I mean, Lost Boys as well, but this one edges it out for me. So I definitely got to give the point to Fright Night. All right. Man, it was tough categories already. We got Sarah in the house. What's up,
Hey, Sarah?
Queen in the house. What's up? Good to have you.
Hey.
Saying we got 22 likes. All right. Very, very cool. Thank you for doing that and letting us know. And whoa, we have got another it's become a battle, guys.
Yeah,
Sir James is in the house. What's up, Sir James? Coming in with $100 super chat. Saying all he said was for Fright Night.
All right.
All you Lost Boys fans were talking a big game, weren't you? And then James just had to show up. See?
Wow.
Hold his beer.
Exactly.
Hey man, thank you so much, obviously, for the super chat. We appreciate that. And also you have made this a battle of battles. Thank you so much, man. Seriously, it also helps us out for the channel. Keeps us doing this series, man, which I know you love. Good to have you here tonight. We're over 50 episodes in Battle World, and it's been an absolute blast. Sir James, thank you so much. We appreciate it. So we're going to put that towards Fright Night. And look, let's go back old school. Let's do something that is always fun, because sometimes you got to know what you're getting into, and there's only one guy that can explain it. Here he is.
We are going to enter a mystery wrapped up inside of a riddle, inside of an enigma. Now, remember this.
That's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard.
There he is. There he is.
He's just so punchable, man. I can't.
Oh man, that was awesome, man. Thank you so much, Sir James. We appreciate you. Hollywood guy. He said, wow. Rodent said, are you trying me? There you go. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Seriously. And Sarah, thank you as well for thanking these guys. Sarah always helping us out in the chat too. Just saying thank you so much for the continued generosity. And it really is such an amazing thing that we do appreciate. Lamar's in the house as well. All right. Sweet. Now, Gene was going for the Fright Night poster. I just want to make sure I throw that out there, and you guys let us know which poster you are a fan of as well. Troy's in the house saying Fright Night for the poster, always been one of my favorites. All right. Very, very cool. Sarah saying, I'm so torn for the posters. Lost Boys is iconic, but I think I like Fright Night more. Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. And hey, we got Jason in the house. What's up, Jason? Good to see you as well, man. Very cool.
Welcome, Jason.
All right. All right. Crazy. And congrats on the new house, Jason. Seriously, that's cool.
Yeah. Good for you.
Okay. Next up, we're only in our second category, guys. The tagline, Eric. The tagline. So let's break this down. For the tagline of the Lost Boys, we have sleep all day, party all night, never grow old, never die. It's fun to be a vampire. And the tagline for Fright Night, there are some very good reasons to be afraid of the dark. Okay, so who gets the point and why?
I don't really like Fright Night. I'm going with Lost Boys because honestly, Lost Boys does make it sound cool to be a vampire. You know what I mean? That really, really fits. Like even if I don't care too much for the poster, that still makes me want to see the movie. You don't really, no one wants to be a vampire because you know how bad it is in the long run, but that really makes me kind of consider it. You know what I mean? So it's a really good tagline.
All right. Kill, how about you?
The tagline to the Lost Boys, it pretty much fits the motif of the people on the cover. But I gotta go with Fright Night because it makes me curious. You know, there are some very good reasons to be afraid of the dark. And it's like, ooh, all right. Are we just talking vampires? Are we talking something else? Are we talking vampires at all? I don't know. Maybe she's a Wendigo or something. I don't know what she is. I see fangs. So yeah, I gotta go with Fright Night because it makes me curious.
All right. Coriander, how about you?
Yeah, I really don't care for the Lost Boys tagline. I'm gonna definitely go with Fright Night also.
All right. Okay. For me, this is challenging because, and Kill, you said it really well, because Lost Boys, it fits, you know, with the whole idea. You know, it's cool, and that's what that poster is about. Fright Night is definitely a curiosity-driven tagline. You know what I'm saying? And I know this might sound silly, but the one thing that amps it up a little bit even more is saying there are some very good reasons. You know what I mean? Like they could have just said there's reasons to be afraid of the devil. There's some very good reasons. So based upon that, I gotta give it to Fright Night on this one. Just the curiosity has got me like, what is it? What
are the very good reasons?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I gotta know what these very good reasons are. You know what I'm saying? All right. Real quick too in the chat, just to catch up to these guys and see what we got going on. Trickster's going with Lost Boys. Let's see. Ronan's going with Lost Boys. Melissa's going with Lost Boys. Let's see. Jean is going with Fright Night. Paula is going with Lost Boys. Wow, we're all over the place as usual. Let's see who else. MK is going Fright Night. All right. He said the Lost Boys isn't a tagline, it's a book. There you go. Oh man. Let's see. I think that's it. We're caught up. Okay, next category. Let's go to our next category, Eric. And that's the opening. The opening of the film, which is usually the first couple of minutes, could be up to 15 minutes. Who gets the point and why?
I'm giving it to Lost Boys because, you know, it gets me more pumped to watch the film. In my opinion, not much happens in Fright Night. You know, you got the two kids making out. You know, they're watching the TV at the end. You know, and you know, William Ragsdale, instead of looking to score with the woman that he's already pressuring, he's too busy checking out, you know, Chris Sarandon moving in. Which, you know, it has its point, but you got the Lost Boys on the carousel causing trouble, and then they take out that security guard, and it isn't the stereotypical bite on the neck or he's ripped in half type of thing. He's just picked up out of the you know, into the air, and he's gone.
Yeah.
So that, to me, that sets, you know, a scary tone. So I'm going with Lost Boys.
All right. Kill, how about you?
I couldn't have said it better. I'm going with Lost Boys. And the one thing that they do, whether they did it because of budget issues or special effects, you don't see them flying in. You have the camera, you kind of have a shaky cam thing, which they do a lot to great, you know, use, in my opinion, because it works. And you just know something's going to happen to the security guard.
Right.
You know, you just know. And it's like, and it's Kiefer. It's young Kiefer. And just when he speaks, it's like, ooh, you know, there's just this subtle violence in his voice. And also, you know, and please correct me if I'm wrong, up until this time, vampires represented in like horror movies, they weren't as rough as these guys. They're teenagers. They're kind of punk rocky. You know what I mean? We've had horror movies where it's zombies and it's kind of like, you know, zombie, you know, punk rock zombies and so forth. But vampires were always kind of smooth.
Right.
And, you know, just seeing them, you know, they're trouble. And then you could just surmise, oh, that's them lifting this guy into orbit and devouring him in the air, you know. So yeah, I gotta go with the Lost Boys.
All right.
I think you're right. Other than maybe Bill Paxton in Near Dark, and I don't know what year that came out. I think you're right. This might be the first thing I can think of.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a new generation of vamp.
No doubt about it at all. Coriander, how about you? Who gets the point for the opening?
I have to give it to the Lost Boys also. It just, sure, they both reek of 80s, but Lost Boys just capture it, I think, just a little bit more, and I just love it. So, yeah.
All right. For me, both of these openings are good. They're doing different things, as we see very often in these battles, these categories. The opening for Fright Night is more of a setup. It's showing you the background of Charlie, what he's all about, and kind of what his character, the type of decisions he makes, and so forth, and also his devotion to Peter Vincent, which is pretty interesting for a beginning, because it's like old school. It's got the old school, plus it's a modern day thing going on. But the point has to go to the Lost Boys on this one. And you guys said it really well, because you get introduced to the crew. And then the scene with going after the security guard is so well done. And that POV, and Fright Night does this a little bit as well, which I thought was really cool. Both of these movies did some really fresh things for vampire films, which even at that point in the 80s was tough to do. We're talking 60 years worth of vampire movies, especially Christopher Lee stuff with the Hammer horror. So, but with the Lost Boys getting that POV as they swoop down, like you guys said, you don't see what happens. You just, boom, people are just gone. They're just taken. They are disappeared. That's what they are. So I thought it was really cool, and it was a great way to open the film. So my point goes to the Lost Boys. All right. Real quick, too, in the chat. Let's see, these guys, they're going back and forth too. Leslie's in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. Has to be the Lost Boys versus Near Dark. Oh, okay. Saying I prefer vampire bands for Near Dark. Okay, all right. And saying Fright Night has a lot of things of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Agreed. Absolutely. And thank you so much for being here. We appreciate that. And by the way, if you guys have not hit the like button, please do. It helps to support the stream and getting it out to other folks. Ryan's in the house as well. What's going on, Ryan? Good to see you. All right. Next category, the story, Eric. The story. Who gets the point and why?
I think I'm going to go. It's tough. I like them both. I think I'm going to go with Fright Night. And the reason why is, they're very similar. You got one person turning into a half vampire, and they have kids being the hunters type of thing. But I don't know. I really like, I'm sure I'll talk about it later in the opposite direction, but I kind of like how you have this group of kids, going to an actor who has nothing to do with hunting vampires, because they have nowhere else to go. And he's just kind of shrugging them off, and then he gets that realization type of thing. So I think I like that little change a bit more. Other than them being very similar, I'm going to go with Fright Night for me.
Okay, Kill, how about you?
This is another really tight one here. Both storylines are, kind of basic, but they both have complexity. I think for me, when I see vampire movies, I like to see the infection, sort of say. With that being said, I'm going to go with the Lost Boys, because you got to see Michael going through the change. You got to see him starting to turn into the monster and trying to hold it back, to the point where he almost tempted to bite his brother, and is protected by the family dog. I liked those aspects and the complexities that, kind of come in there with the family aspect, the friends outside aspect, the teenager angst aspect with mom and her son. Are we friends? Are we still friends? And things like that, and then ultimately seeing family is family, know. And you got a greased up saxophone player. There you go. I still believe.
Throw those emojis out in the chat. We've got that as an emoji for a reason. All right. So, Coriander, how about you? Who gets the point for story?
Um, I enjoy both movies, but Lost Boys, it's just so good. The characters, the Frog Brothers, and yeah, I mean, it's yeah, Lost Boys. I have no
Okay.
words.
All right. To me, I think that it's really tough, man, because you got a lot of different things going on. Eric, you made a good point about the whole angle with Peter Vincent.
Mhm.
That whole plot is very interesting because when and again, I always think about these things also from the point of view of when you first watch it. When you first watch it, you're expecting him to be what he was shown to be on TV, but he's nothing like that. But yet he has an arc where he finds his own courage and chooses to do the right thing and so forth. And obviously that's parallel with Charlie. And of course, Amy has her own arc that's going on. The Lost Boys, same type of thing. You've got multiple things going on. You've got these two brothers, which, I think, obviously, rest in peace to Corey Haim. Fantastic. The relationship between Corey Haim and Jason Patrick was so cool. It was palpable, and you really enjoyed them in this movie, and everything is rotating around them, like you were saying, Kill, with their mom, moving to a new place, trying to get situated, and obviously dealing with these Lost Boys and all that goes with that. I gotta give the point to the Lost Boys because I think that there's all these interesting things that you never really saw, or at least not at this level, in a vampire film, and it's just so well done. So I'm going to edge this out. I think both movies have great stories, and there's a reason why these two films are so appreciated and are so popular as far as 80s vampire films or just vampire films in general. But I got to edge this one out to the Lost Boys. Okay, let's jump into the chat too. We got Darth in the house. All right, saying he's going for Lost Boys for the story. Ronan is going for the Lost Boys. We've got Paula also going with the Lost Boys, and Melissa as well, and Trickster. Okay, very cool. Let's go to our next category. Eric, we're going to go to the music. And we are talking about the score, not any music from different artists. We're talking about only instrumental score. So I want to make sure I say that twice for those in the chat.
Because I was also going to ask you, yeah. I'm going to go with Lost Boys, and here's why. Other than the carnival music, I don't really remember much of the score.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like the score in Fright Night, what I can remember. This seductive type music, when he's trying to seduce Amy and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I don't think it really fits. The carnival music fits in the movie, they're literally at a carnival, but it also fits this little fun motif. You have all the kids and everything like that. So it's like this happy-go-lucky area with all these bad things happening. So I'm definitely going with Lost Boys.
Okay. All right. Kill, how about you?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Eric. For me, the music is just more memorable in Lost Boys, and it fits the motif of the scene that they're in. There, to me, Santa Clara, totally, there's a vibe there. It's a beach town, 80s Americana, small town yet beachy, and it has a vibe. It has, live music at night. You have guys on motorcycles going to the bluffs, and all of those tunes. I still remember that. When I think about Fright Night, and I just finished watching Fright Night maybe an hour ago again, the music doesn't really stand out as much, unfortunately. So I got to go with Lost Boys.
Okay. All right. Coriander, how about you?
So for the score for either movie, I don't know. Obviously the music, where with the lyrics and all that. Obviously, if it was that, I would have to give it to the Lost Boys. But for either movie, it's like, I don't know. It could go either way because I don't remember it. So I'm going to give it to Fright Night. because it could go either way. So yeah.
All right. For me, the instrumental, the score, I should say, I have to give the point to Fright Night, and it's actually not that close. And Brad Fiedel did the score for Fright Night, who of course did the score for the Terminator. I think it's awesome. It totally feels like an 80s, almost that yuppie type of vibe, and it's throughout the whole movie. It's not just when he's trying to seduce Amy at the club. It's throughout the whole movie. Like even when they're outside of the house, when Charlie's looking at the house and spying, I think it's awesome. I really, really do. And it kind of it brings this atmosphere to the movie, which totally fits with Jerry and his sleeked out, yuppie vibe as a vampire, a master vampire. So, and not to say that Lost Boys doesn't have a good score. It does, and it has some instrumental versions of some of its music with words. But I think Fright Nights gives it even more atmosphere. So I'm going to give the point to Fright Night. All right. Okay. Sarah's going with Lost Boys. Okay. All right. Let's see. Melissa saying no music really. Oh, there's music in Fright Night. There's definitely music. Trust me. And Sarah says we've got 29 likes. All right. Very, very cool. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Very, very cool. Let's go to our next category. The director, Eric. The director. We've got Joel Schumacher for The Lost Boys, and we of course have Tom Holland for Fright Night. Who gets the point and why?
I'm giving it to Joel and The Lost Boys because they're both iconic films, so the directors both have great product. But I think Joel does more and he has a lot more to deal with. You know what I mean? He has especially on those boardwalk scenes, extras, music, the vibe of the film. In certain scenes, he has the certain scenes on we're going to get to the finale and stuff like that. You got to make that fit the vibe of the film. He's got so many more characters to bring out, and child actors can be hit and miss. This was the first of the Corey films, and there's a reason why those two were good together, and he was able to get great performances out of lots of child actors, including teenagers. I don't know how old the oldest Lost Boy was, but close enough. You know what I mean? Great performances out of all these characters, and some choices that Tom made with characters and their performances, I'm sure we'll talk about later. And I think they could have had the characters tone them down. So Joel wins by a landslide.
Okay. All right. Kill. How about you?
I think both directors did a really good job. I'm gonna lean slightly more to The Lost Boys, and my reasoning for that is just the complexity of some of the scenes that director had to do. For the most part, Fright Night, and it's no knock against it. We're in Charlie's house, or we're in Vampire Jerry's house, and a couple other little locales for the most part. But you're having motorcycle chase scenes to the bluffs. You have the carnival stuff. You have the comic store. You have the video store. You have their house.
The cave.
Wow, I almost forgot about the cave. And just even with that being said, some of those action sequences, like the cave, like the motorcycles, it's a lot there. And like Eric just said, you're dealing with child actors, and having child actors deliver great performances, it's just masterful, all that was going on. And a huge concert for no reason. Let's just have a guy with a saxophone. He's singing lead vocals and playing sax. What is the point of that? I don't know. It's a plot device for him to meet the really cute girl he's attracted to. But that could have been anything, so yeah, I got to go with The Lost Boys.
All right, Coriander, how about you?
I mean, like Killian said, both directors did really good. But, I think I'm going to go with Fright Night, just because I mean, some of the shots he filmed with the special effects, like when the goon to Jerry was melting,
Mhm.
that was like really cool, and I just, yeah, I don't know. It's tough, so I just have to pick one. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, these are all pretty tough. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Real quick, too, in the chat, just to jump to these guys real quick, as we've got a couple of folks. Paul is going with Joel Schumacher. MK saying Holland easily here. Schumacher is hit or miss. Let's see. Trickster saying, I can't really say both are directed really well. Darth saying Tom Holland definitely better. He knows how to direct horror. Okay. All right. We got Jamie in the house. What's up, Jamie? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight. Thank you for joining us here. Saying hello, fam. I'm hanging out, but I'm not feeling good, so I'm just going to stay in the background. Just wanted to say hi. Hey, well, we're glad to have you, and hope you feel better soon, Jamie. Seriously, hopefully you'll get some enjoyment out of this, and maybe a smile. But thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Seriously. We got Mark in the chat saying, hey, what's up, Mark? Good to see you. Okay. For me, director is tough, man, because both directors are awesome in what they did with these two films. I mean, it is almost a coin flip because I think, Joel Schumacher, there were a lot of different things he had to do with the film, like you guys were saying. So you would automatically think, well, then it's like the law of averages, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, Tom Holland, there was a lot more intimacy as far as what he was doing, and you have to get those things right because in other words, you have less that could capture your attention, so you focus in on what's there. So you have to nail it. You know what I'm saying? And there was a lot of great scenes that just visually was done so well as a director. You could just tell that he was very skilled at what he was doing. So it's almost like a coin flip, man. But I think I'm gonna edge it out to the Lost Boys, and that's because of the fact that it was just so well done. A lot of moving pieces, and it's like a coin flip for me. That's how good both of these directors did with these two movies. So I'm gonna edge it out to the Lost Boys on that one. Okay. All right. Hey, we got Jason in the house and Fright
Hey,
Night
Jason.
rules. All right. Okay. It may not rule tonight, but hey, we're glad to have you. Ronan came in early before we even started this thing. We got Mark saying, hey, we got Leslie going with Joel Schumacher. Kenny saying Joel. He's going with Joel Schumacher. We got Denisha in the house. What's up, Denisha? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Ronan is going with the Lost Boys for the director, Joel Schumacher. Okay. And definitely hoping that Jamie feels better soon. All right. Next category, the characters. The characters. So here's the question, Eric. Which film has the better characters? And that includes every single character in both movies. What would you give the point overall to each character, their weight, one movie versus the other, all characters included?
Okay. It's tough because there's some characters. Well, I'm going to go for Lost Boys. Now, granted, there are some characters that are just there for me. I've never been a big fan of Sam or Jason Patrick, Michael in this. They're just there for me. But I love the Frog Brothers. Corey Feldman's trying to be Rambo of all people. You know what I mean? And it works. I love Grandpa. My favorite character in the whole movie is the mom. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Fright Night has some good characters. Jerry is awesome. I love Peter Vincent because he's a fish out of water. He doesn't want to be doing this, but he's getting kicked out of his house, so he's doing it for $50 or whatever type of thing. But the problem is with Fright Night is I hate Evil Ed so much. I hate him so. He's like one of those. He's where I said the director should have kind of toned down the performance. I think if he was taken out, like he didn't really. You could have had anybody play that character instead of like the annoying geeky friend. Everyone picks on Franklin. I think Evil's a lot worse than Franklin. So I'm gonna go with Lost Boys.
All right. Kill, how about you?
I knew this question was going to come. And I used to think I had an easy answer for this,
Mm.
but I don't. This is very close. And it's interesting because the way that I look at the characters from Lost Boys, Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patrick, the Coreys, the other Frog brother, and Grandpa. Those are the standout characters to me. The rest of the Lost Boys, they're just there with long hair.
Right.
You know, the love interest young lady, she's just there as kind of a plot device, her and her little brother. The king vampire, he's just there. The mom, she's sweet. I would kind of put her in there too. She's like, man, that's an awesome mom. She's sweet. Although she didn't believe her kids, but then again, your kids are saying there's a vampire. But on the other side, I enjoyed all of the characters in Fright Night except at Evil. And the main character that is going to pull it mainly for me is Vampire Jerry. Vampire Jerry has so much charisma that him alone, for me, counts at least 3 votes of 3 people. Because you can have the typical "I want to drink your blood" and this and that, just a smooth guy, but he was an asshole too. He knew what he was doing. He did little things like, "Oh, hey, I'm already in your house, man. Here, look at my ring. You know I'm sitting in your dad's chair." You know, he just did little things like, "You wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, would you, Charlie?"
Throws the apple at him.
Yeah, and he just did little menacing things to F with Charlie because he knew Charlie was trying to F with him.
Right.
And he even gave him the choice, like, just forget about me. Oh, you're gonna stab me with a pencil? Oh, it's on now. You know, and the other characters, you know, obviously are the Peter, what's his last name?
Vincent.
Peter Vincent, vampire killer. He's awesome, and he's an unlikely hero. You know, he's not what you think he is at first, and then it's like, oh, okay, you're a coward, but he comes into his own. You know, the love interest gets turned into a vampire, so there's a conundrum there. I gotta go with Fright Night. You know, it may not be quantity wise as many characters as Lost Boys, but there's a lot of throwaway characters in Lost Boys that are just there to look cool. So yeah, I gotta go Fright Night.
All right. Coriander, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good characters in the Lost Boys that it kind of just, I mean, Fright Night, they had some good characters, but I mean, no comparison really.
Okay. All right. You know, for me, this is challenging, you know, kind of like what Kill said, because there's great characters in both movies. And, you know, when you talk about the Lost Boys, there were some really cool moments and cool characters. But I agree, for Fright Night, everybody was operating on the same level. And I didn't hate Evil. I thought he was funny. I mean, we didn't need him for sure. I mean, but the same could be said for a lot of characters in the Lost Boys. So, but I got to give I'm sounding just like Kill. Jerry alone, he had so much charisma. That Riz, man. Jerry was amazing. Shout out to Chris Sarandon, Prince Humperdinck himself. I got to give the point to Fright Night. It was just, seriously, like, when I was, and I hadn't seen it in a couple of years. So when we set up for this battle, it was the first time I had seen it in a couple of years. I forgot how good his performance was. It was so nuanced. It was scary. It was cool. He had the romantic aspect. All the and both movies did this too. And I wanted to say this: both movies gave credit to old school vampire lore, and they did it really well. A great mix of old school and new school. Although I think Fright Night went even further with that, as far as like the old legends and kind of some new things and stuff like that. But yeah, I got to edge this one out to Fright Night, man, because, man, it was just crazy.
One cool thing about Jerry is, you know, he's, you know, it's a pure 80s movie. You know what I mean? You know what we mean when we say pure 80s movie. He's a yuppie. You know what I mean? But you can tell the way he acts, how prim and proper. He was probably an aristocratic vampire, like Interview with the Vampire or Dracula. He's probably been around since those times, and that's the feel I get. And I'm a sucker for, you know, the aristocrat vampire.
Yeah. Yep. Amen to that. All right. Let's jump to the chat. And Wowie, wow.
Yeah.
Ronan,
Uh-oh.
he's jumping in. Wow, a $200 super chat. He just writes The Lost Boys. Wow. Well,
Well,
you and
good show, guys.
wow, you and James are
Right? Oh
dueling
my
here.
God.
My God.
Wow,
man.
Ronan,
man, geez.
man, how many super clips does he get for that?
Wow. Well, we're gonna we're gonna do an oldie but goodie for sure. Seriously though, man, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Let's go back to the old school, couple of old school clips because we haven't done these in a little while. All right, man, 200 points to the Lost Boys. All right, Ronan, thank you so much, man. Seriously, you rock. Here's the first clip we're gonna do real quick for you because sometimes you just gotta dance. Oh, Ed Harris never ever gets old.
I can't wait till we eventually do Creep Show and we can count how many times we go back to Ed Harris dancing like that.
Yes, absolutely, man. And you know that's gonna happen sooner or later.
I know.
I've been waiting on that. Let's do another one just for the fun of it, because listen, Kill, in this day and age, you gotta be somebody.
Yes.
If you don't want to be a crazy fool, you better study real hard and stay in school. Somebody.
There it is. You gotta be somebody.
Hard to imagine that's the guy that nearly killed Rocky Balboa. You know what I mean?
Right. I love Mr. T, man. All right. Ronan, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate you. Seriously, no doubt about it at all. That was absolutely crazy, man. Wow. Darth says Ronan comes in with the chair to take out Fright Night. He came in with more than the chair. He came in with like a missile.
He set the ring on fire.
He really did. It was crazy, man. Let's see. We got Binaural Dean saying, "What a matchup! I love both movies equally." Yeah, I mean, both movies are awesome. There's no doubt about it. Jason saying Evil Ed was awesome. And there you go. We got some fans. Okay. Let me see if I'm caught up with everyone here. Yes, that's true too. Leslie made a good point. The big bat transformation of Jerry is great. I agree. Yes. Yep. I absolutely agree. Jason said, I love that clip. Yeah, it's fun. Oh man, thank you so much. We appreciate all you guys. Jamie saying Mr. T pities the fool who don't eat A-Team cereal. Yeah, there you go. I remember that too. Gene saying I have to get ready to go. Have a great night. Thank you, Gene, for being here. We appreciate you and hope you have a good night. Okay, next category. Tension in the film. Eric, which film has the bigger amount of tension? Is it Fright Night or The Lost Boys?
I'm going with Fright Night. Basically, just what we all pretty much said in the last category. Chris Sarandon, Kiefer and his group are scary. Chris is scarier because he doesn't need minions. You know what I mean? He's got one guy to watch over when he's sleeping. Other than that, he does it all himself. And again, I think it's because he's so prim and proper. He doesn't have to be scary or act scary to be scary, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? He could just stand there eating an apple like a fruit bat, you know what I mean? And just, you're screwed type of thing. So I'm going with Fright Night.
All right. Kill, how about you?
Sometimes the subtle guy is scarier than the guy on a motorcycle with the badass haircut and, a gang of guys with him. I got to go Fright Night because, Charlie knows the rules from watching Peter Vincent. Right. And when he realizes that this vampire now has been invited in my house,
Mm-hmm.
He has no protection.
That's right.
And literally that night, he don't let the grass grow under his feet. He's like, I will see you tonight.
We've got an appointment later on, buddy.
Yeah, and that scene where Charlie is looking out the window, and we're from the perspective, we can see what's behind Charlie. And Chris Sarandon comes out of his closet and just walks up behind him, and Charlie is yawning, and he's like, oh crap. And to have this vampire grab you by your neck, lift you off the ground, sling you around a little bit. He's playing with his food. He could kill Charlie anytime he wants, but he's there for the game. The Lost Boys, if you piss them off, you're dead tonight. Security guard, you're dead tonight. Other biker guys, you're going to be dead on the beach later on this week. We'll let you have a few days, because we got to get the security guard from the other night first. Then we got to try to entice Michael to join us, but don't forget, we'll come back to you in a cute few days, and they do. But I got to go with Fright Night because Chris Sarandon, it just the swag and just the menace he brings.
All right, Coriander, how about you?
I don't know if for me how much tension there was in Fright Night. Maybe the scene where he gets Amy. But I'm gonna have to go with the Lost Boys.
Oh, okay. All right. For me, I think that both films, they have their moments, where they have the tension. Obviously, especially in Lost Boys, when they go into the lair, you're basically going into the coffin, which I thought that was so cool. Just that whole idea of what a coffin is. Some really cool imagery and concepts. But for tension, look, you got a vampire next door. Like you said, you probably said it perfectly, Kill, because once he was let into the house, there was no turning back. Okay, Charlie is alone. Nobody believes him, not even his mother. And he's a kid. So you tell me, how would you feel in that situation? Like, that was really, really just tense, right from the beginning. But even before that, when he first saw, there's someone next door that's killing someone that's a vampire. You saw the fangs, and it played all throughout because the whole movie is based upon that. So I think that Fright Night edges out Lost Boys because of and you said it earlier too, Kill, because Lost Boys are trying to recruit Michael. David said it himself at the end in the quote unquote final fight. I don't want to kill you. I want you to join us. So there wasn't as much tension in that sense. Now, obviously, for Corey Haim, there was tension because he wants to save his brother, and he's freaked out by vampires. He knows what's up. But I do think that Fright Night edged it out with tension overall, and that's the basis of what that movie is. So
that scene where Charlie he's snooping around and he sees Jerry with the prostitute like the first time, that look at death he gives Charlie, it's very subtle, but he's like, okay, you saw something you shouldn't see, shit's on.
Right. I mean? Absolutely. And not to mention the minion, he was a punk too. But anyways, all right. We got Rachel in the house. What's up, Rachel? Good to see you. Saying, hey, all. Hope you're doing well. Okay. Let's see. And I think I'm caught up to everyone. Okay. All right. Next category, the effects, Eric. The practical effects, both films. Great job, Steve Johnson for Fright Night, who also worked on Big Trouble in Little China, study under Rob Bottin and Rick Baker. And of course, for Lost Boys, Greg Cannon and team worked on the effects for the Lost Boys. Who gets the point and why?
I'm going Fright Night. I like the look of the Lost Boys when they're vamped out, but it's pretty much the stereotypical, you got the raised brow and you got the fangs and the red eyes. And then some of the, I guess you would say, the death effects are pretty good. But Fright Night, first off, Chris Sarandon is terrifying, like right there. And it took me a while, as a kid, it took me a while to get used to this different look because with the elongated fingers, Amy looks like a barracuda with that smile. You know what I mean? It took me a while to get used to that look. But then also when I think his name's Billy, the minion, when he melts,
Yeah.
that's just disgusting.
Mhm.
And I love, some people don't like it, but I love the way the bat looks when Jerry's in his bat form when he's fighting at the end. You know, it doesn't look like the stereotypical bat. You had that little bit of human look in the face. So
Mhm.
that's also the creativity factor. So I got to go Fright Night.
All right. Kill, how about you?
This is the first easy street here. It's Fright Night, hands down. Just like Eric said, other than the vampire look, you know, the facial, makeup, there's not really much to the Lost Boys. That and some of the death animations. You might not like Evil, but his death sequence,
right,
turning into a wolf, and then being stabbed, and then turning from a wolf to a wolf man, it's nowhere near like American Werewolf in London, but it's pretty damn good and kind of sad,
Yeah,
Very sad.
I'm glad you said that part.
Even Peter Vincent's crying.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's just like, man, I don't really like this character. I don't think we need him. I didn't hate him, but that death sequence was kind of sad. The love interest, when you first see her, she's kind of vamped out, but then her true form with the mouth, it's like, whoa, that's a lot there. And of course, the way Vampire Jerry looks. I mean, they really went there with these special effects, and I think for the time, they're really awesome. And then to compare it to Lost Boys, it's really no comparison to me. So Fright Night all the way.
All right. Okay. Coriander, how about you?
Definitely Fright Night. I said it earlier. The effects in this movie are really good.
Yeah, they are. No doubt about that. Okay. Real quick in the chat, we got Elm Street saying great tension in Fright Night. Absolutely. We got Wayne in the house. Good to see you, Wayne. Hope you're doing well. And we see Ronan is going for Lost Boys easily on effects. Wow. Okay.
I wouldn't say easily.
Easily?
They got some scary looking feet. That's about it.
Jason saying Fright Night easy. Trickster going with Fright Night. Paula going with Lost Boys. Let's see. We've got MK saying Fright Night easily for effects, no doubt. Okay. Leslie going with Fright Night. And I think we're caught up. Binaural saying the werewolf scene is pretty sick. It is. Troy saying effects Fright Night by far. Okay. Now listen, both of these movies had good effects. Now again, let me remind people, especially in the chat, we're going category by category, not based upon which one we like. To me, this is the easiest one so far. This is the easiest category so far. And I could literally list point by point why. It's got to go to Fright Night. Fright Night has so many scenes with amazing practical effects. Creativity in just alone, it's got to get the point for that. But Kill, I want to go back to that scene you were talking about with Ed. That scene was really good, and it was sad, and it kind of threw me, rewatching it, I had forgotten about that. But it was kind of sad. I mean, he was enticed to become the undead because he was lonely. He was a kid that gets picked on, even by Charlie to a degree, right? He's they're like frenemies, right?
Yeah.
And Roddy McDowall sells it. And that's one thing that, we haven't even really talked about. It's not a category. I'll just say that right now. But Roddy McDowall, the acting ability, the arc, huge. Yeah. And that's not why I'm giving this the point, but I'm just using this as one of those instances to illustrate it, how the acting and the effects went hand in hand. And I was just like, wow, you almost felt for Ed in that scene. But it was a great transformation, the wolf to wolf man. And again, Steve Johnson, he worked under Rick Baker for American Werewolf in London. You could kind of see those parallels. So there is no doubt in my mind, just my opinion, it's not even close. And that's not to say that Lost Boys doesn't have great effects, but Fright Night totally outweighs it in almost in every single way. Even if you think about Jerry versus David in their vampire, prosthetics and so forth, I just think it's amazing. So point to Fright Night. Okay. All right. Real quick, let me catch up to these guys in the chat too. Troy saying Fright Night. Absolutely. All right. Let's go to our next category. The scarier threat, Eric. The scarier threat. So we are in the shoes of the protagonist. You know, you either move to a new town, you found out that there's lost boys that are vampires there, or you're in a house and your next door neighbor is a vampire. Which is the scarier threat based upon that?
Well, the scarier threat for me is going to be if I'm put into Fright Night. And here's why. It's who I have helping me. There's a chance, you know, the Frog Brothers are in over their heads, but they kind of, air quotes, know what they're doing. My only help if I'm in Fright Night is an actor. He's not a vampire hunter. He's an actor. I have Evil, who somewhat knows his stuff, but he doesn't really care because, you know, like you said, he's a frenemy. And
Right.
then you have his girlfriend that kind of believes him, but kind of thinks he's going crazy type of thing. So I have less help in Fright Night. And again, I'm going up against Jerry Dandridge, who really, he could, you know, take me out with the snap of his fingers. You know what I mean? Like Kill said, the Lost Boys, they have other things to do until they take care of their victim. So Fright Night's definitely scarier.
Okay. Kill, how about you?
So this is another easy street for me. Charlie has no powers. Michael has powers. Michael has enough power that he kills David.
That's a good point.
There you go.
I
Well, the reason why I'm saying that's it is because Eric said the other stuff I was going to say, like who's helping me? Are they really help? Is Peter Vincent really gonna do something? Maybe, maybe not. Is Evil gonna do something? No. Is my girlfriend gonna do something? Yeah, she's gonna get seduced by this dude with his swag. So I don't even have to say that part. But then on top of it, Charlie has no powers. Nilch, none. Michael kills David. I don't know how, but he a fresh vampire. Maybe his was more potent and new. I don't know, but he hasn't fed. He hasn't fed, and yet he beats David. Come on, man. You know, Fright Night. Come on.
All right. Coriander, how about you?
I think the scarier threat is Lost Boys. You've got the head vampire and his goon squad. I mean, yeah.
Okay. All right. You guys, real quick in the chat, Rachel saying, I mean, poor Corey out here trying to fight vampires while his brothers fall in love with the main one. So that's pretty scary. It's a good point. Good point. Trickster going with Fright Night. Jason is going with Fright Night. Paula is going with Lost Boys. Ronan going with Lost Boys. Okay. Rachel saying he's flying past the windows yelling at him while he's on the phone and trying to gaslight his younger brother. Yeah, that was a great scene, man. I love that scene. MK saying Fright Night. Jerry is just creepy. Okay, all right. To me, I think when you think about the threats, again, putting myself in the situation, this has to go to Fright Night. Because again, I'm alone. I don't have any backup. You know, Michael has backup, and whether you know, whatever you think of, like you said, Eric, whatever you think of the Frog Brothers is one thing, but you know, Michael is alone. And then when Michael is being, you know, trying to be brought into the fold, he does have powers, like you were saying, Kill. So to me, that is a huge advantage that two advantages that Charlie doesn't have. So this has to go to Fright Night for the scarier threat to be in. Okay, all right. We got Jason coming in with a super chat, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Jason. We appreciate that. Saying, do you think the sexy sax player was a vampire who was more into his music than being a vampire? Points for Fright Night. All right, we got 5 points for Fright Night. Trying to climb up that hill. Thank you so much, man. I don't think that sax player was a vampire though. That'd be a cool concept though if he was, but I don't think he was. What do you guys think?
No.
Okay. No. All right. I don't think he was. It would have been cool though if they had done something and say he was though, no doubt. All right. Jason, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. Let's do a clip and you know, tongue, and you almost can't believe it's happening.
Budweiser, you created a monster, and they call him Frankenstein. And the tavern down the street is the laboratory where he makes the transformation all the time.
All right. Shout out to Sly. Okay, let's. I know, right? It's crazy. Next category. The best kill. The best kill, Eric. What's the best kill between these two films? Who gets the point?
Oh, I'm going Fright Night. I'm going Billy. Just how he looks. First off, they shoot him, half a dozen times. And then just that melting effect, because we talked about how good the practical effects are in Fright Night. That melting effect, it's just gross. You know what I mean? We love our gore, but that one is just gross. So I'm going Billy and Fright Night.
Okay, Kill, how about you?
I'm going for one that doesn't even really need to be in there. Evil's death. Because essentially he turned into a wolf for no other reason than to show off some awesome special effects. He could have just came out of that room, but he's like, no, I'm gonna show off. I'm gonna turn to a wolf. I got you. Let's show off these special effects, baby. And he had already had the cross burn on him, and then when he dies and is changing into the werewolf man, he has the same burn into the wolf head. And on top of that, it's super sad. So yeah, I gotta go with the Evil, his death.
All right, Coriander, how about?
I gotta jump in there. As much as I've been trashing Evil, that is a good kill or a good death because it actually made me care about him. Made me feel sorry for him. So
yeah, I yeah, that's a good point. Coriander, how about you?
I'm gonna go with a Lost Boy kill where one of the goons, the one that fell into the bathtub with the holy water and the garlic, that was good.
Yeah, shout out to Nanook.
That's right.
Yep. Nanook for the save,
good
man.
Puppy.
Right? All right. For me, this is tough, man, because I think, there's some good stuff in both films. That tub scene was really good. I remember when we were watching it, Coriander and I was like, wow, that was just crazy. And the fact that you had Nanook pulling a Bruce Lee, that was just awesome stuff, man. And it didn't feel cheesy at all. It was really, really cool.
And then what it does to the plumbing, that was a fun little added bonus.
That's right. It was a really good one. But I gotta admit, man, I have to give this to Evil. And we said it earlier, not just because of the transformation, which is kind of like the just underneath tier American Werewolf in London level of transformation, but also what it meant. Because again, I didn't even expect to once he got killed, I was like, yeah. But then hearing him wail and whimper and reach out to Peter Vincent, and again, Roddy McDowall sold this scene, and it played out for a long time, for a quote unquote kill. So I thought it was not only a well done scene, but the effects were amazing in it. So I gotta edge this out to Fright Night. Okay. Let's see. Ronan is saying for the Lost Boys, David's death. Okay. All right. Paul is saying Lost Boys, Michael turning. But he wasn't killed though. Or maybe meaning when he killed David, maybe. Trickster going with Fright Night. Rachel saying, gotta be Corey staking Alex Winters in the shower of glitter. Anyone who complains about Twilight, Vamp, Sparkling, I laugh because Lost Boys did it first. there you go. That's a good point. Leslie going with the melting death of the day guard of Fright Night. Billy. Okay. Very cool. Let's see. Next category. Eric, you got to ask yourself, what do you want? Do you want some proper swag or do you want punk rock swag? As far as being a vampire, who gets the point for the cool factor? Obviously, we're talking about Jerry's style versus the style of David and the Lost Boys.
Oh, like I said it earlier, I'm a sucker for an aristocrat when it comes to vampires. And that's Jerry all the way. He's a yuppie, but he's a cool yuppie. He looks slick and suave, and you know what I mean. Sure, leather jackets and motorcycles are neat, but Jerry pulls it off 100%.
All right. Okay. Kill, how about you?
You know, I appreciate both of their styles. You know, the younger vampires want to be punk rock, and Jerry with the proper swag. Jerry got the Riz to back up his swag too. I got to go with Vampire Jerry because, like, when he comes into the club, Jerry like, let me take this coat off and let me just walk back and forth.
Yeah.
And I know her right there. I'm gonna roll right up in her face while she's on the phone and just put the hand out, you know, like Candyman, be my victim. And just takes her, and they get dirty on the dance floor. So I'm just saying, Vampire Jerry got the swag, he got the drip, and I got
okay. All right, Coriander, how about you?
I mean, if you're really looking at his clothes and not how he's, you know, just being all suave, like,
Well,
nah, I mean, that sweater.
Both of it is part of it.
All right, because no, the sweater he was wearing, that neckline, dear God.
Oh, jeez.
But
don't make this more complicated, man.
80s.
Well, dude,
listen, let me explain it because people in the chat may not get it.
Me personally,
we're talking about
I'm gonna go the clothes,
but okay, all right. It's like eating noodles or eating fruit. Okay, so you're going with the Lost Boys. Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick in the chat. Trickster is going with punk rock swag. Rachel is saying punk rock swag. All right. Let's see. Rachel says, I mean, those epic mullets alone. Yeah, it's probably one of the few times that mullets were cool, right? Ronan's going with Lost Boys. Okay. Leslie's going with Fright Night. Okay. For me, you know, it's tough, man, because both of them are cool. You know, you see cool stuff in both, right? But I didn't know which way I was going to go on this. You know, got the motorcycles and the leather. That's awesome, right? And then you got the you know, the proper, you know, you're eating apples and fruit and, you know, just strolling through your mansion. That's cool too. But Eric, I think you gave me something that made me decide this a little bit differently. I'm going to go with Fright Night on this. And the reason why is because Jerry's swag is timeless. This could have taken place in the 1800s. This could take place
like
in
Lestat, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this could take place in the future. He's just, you know, he's just doing what he's got to do. You know what I mean? Mullets were at a certain time, they came and they went. Okay. So Eric, you helped me with this one, man, because I was stuck.
Yeah.
I was really stuck, man. So I'm gonna go with Fright Night on this one for the swag, the proper swag. All right. Sarah says we got 37 likes. Let's get to 40. All right. Yep. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Thank you for reminding us on it, Sarah. Okay. Ronan saying it's punk rock, baby. Yeah, there you go. It is. It is. Next category. Favorite scene, Eric. Favorite scene. Who gets the point?
You know, we keep going back there and keep bringing it up. I'm gonna go with Evil's death. And like I said earlier, when Kill picked that for his favorite kills, because as much as I'm trashing him, like, I do not like the character. You know what I mean? But it made me feel sorry for him. You know what I mean? And that speaks for itself. It's not just, you know, the pain look in Stephen Jeffries' face. You know what I mean? When he's reaching for Peter Vincent. You know what I mean? And again, Roddy is great. You see the tear in his eye. It makes you feel sad, or makes me personally feel sad for this character. I didn't give a second thought about. You know what I mean? I wanted him off the screen, but I felt sorry for this scene is how they're taking him away.
Yeah. So. All right. Cool. Kill, how about you?
You know, both movies have a lot of great scenes. I think for me, it would be the Lost Boys with the initiation. And of course, obviously it takes place in a few different parts, the motorcycle chase, hanging from the bridge, the part where they're in the inner sanctum. For me, I've always loved that because Kiefer, he's like sitting on a throne. He's like, "You hungry? You hungry? Let's get food." He snaps his fingers. You like Chinese? And how are the maggots, Michael? He's fucking with Michael.
Right?
Michael's like, maggots? What? It's rice. Oh, is it? Oh, and then it looks like rice again. He's like, my bad, man. Let me stop messing with you. Have some noodles. And he's like, they're worms. Don't eat those. What? It's noodles, Michael. Like, he's just messing with this guy and hazing him like a frat brother or something.
Right,
like, if you're going to be a part of this fraternity, we get to fuck with you a little bit. And then, because he didn't believe him the other times, have some wine. And it's like, he's playing, the boy who cried wolf. Okay, I'm going to believe you this time. Like, don't drink it. It's blood. Like, nope, it's not. You're not going to get me this time. And thou shall not fall starts singing and whatnot. The little girls, he's like, and he's just high. He's like, ooh, like I really love that scene because that for me, I think is the most lines Kiefer really kind of has. As far as just them, other than them fighting each other, and he's stalking them in Michael's house. But that scene's iconic. It's been. Comedy shows have made fun of that scene with other characters, so I love that scene.
All right. Coriander, how about you?
So my favorite scene is going to go to Fright Night when that kid, what the hell's his name? The neighbor dude.
Evil? Oh.
No.
Evil?
The neighbor.
Charlie?
No. Yeah,
Billy?
Charlie.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Charlie,
has the gun and he's shooting at Jerry Jerry's goon like 7 times, right? No, I don't know how many bullets. There was like 6. And he just keeps coming and just how he all melts and that whole scene that's a good one.
Okay. All right. For me, I and there's great scenes in both films. We could go back and forth and flip coins. The reveal of Amy at the end, that was a good one too. I remember the first time I saw that as a kid, that freaked me out. I was like, what is wrong with her mouth? And we're talking about Baraka style. Okay.
Before Baraka.
Baraka probably was inspired by Amy. You know what I'm saying? For real. Those guys, they watched a lot of this type of shit when they were coming up with the characters for Mortal Kombat. It would not surprise me. I should look it up. But that being said, I have to give the point to the Lost Boys and Kill. You said it, the inner sanctum, the lair. It was such a great scene, man. And again, like I said earlier, playing with the legends, the vampire legends of old, and modernizing it. And this was a great scene of doing that. And David on the throne and messing around with Michael. I want to give a shout out to the right before that though, the motorcycle scene. I mean, it's all connected, but if I had to only pick one, that motorcycle scene always got me as a kid, because it's just shot so nice. The moonlight, the music, I love that. And it was so cool because Michael, right off the bat, I can't beat your bike. You don't have to beat me. You just got to keep up. I was like, wow, bro. It's like they already had the contract signed. You know what I'm saying? So I got to give the point to the Lost Boys. It's just amazingly cool, and that's my favorite moment there.
God, Kiefer is so good in that scene. Like, I love, first off, I love that shot of Jamie Gertz just looking back and smiling, like she's having fun. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
After Michael punches David, and he says something like, "How far are you willing to go?"
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah. All right, buddy, jump in head first.
Yeah. It was an initiation, and the rules were already written. You know what I mean? And Michael, fortunately, was up to the task. You know what I mean? Which is why they wanted him. You know what I'm saying? It was really cool. And you're right. That scene on the motorcycle where, Kiefer's got this evil smile and the music, and when Star's looking back, just the way that it was shot, that was a great scene for Schumacher as a director. No doubt at all. Fantastic scene. Okay. We got Rachel coming in with a super chat, a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Rachel. We appreciate you saying, sending some points to my OG fave homoerotic vamps, David and Michael. If only their love could have lasted. There you go. There you go. So we've got we've got 5 points that we're going to throw at the Lost Boys. All right, let's do another clip. And, hey, look, we got to run the hams. Here we go.
Can you run the hams back one more time? I just want to.
Thank you.
Yes.
Love me some Mr.
Yes.
Mom.
Yes. Love Michael Keaton. Thank you so much, Rachel. We really appreciate it. Let's see. Ronan is going with the train bridge hanging scene. Yes. Trickster saying the flying scene in the Lost Boys. Paula going with the flying scene. Let's see. Ben's in the chat. What's up, Ben? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. I know you were hoping to get in here for this. This has definitely been an interesting one going back and forth, man. Ronan saying, come on, fam. The Lost Boys deserve this win. Okay. Wow. Oh, man. Trickster said, looking out of my window, seeing a cloud that looks a little like Fright Night. Ooh. Okay. Wow. That is creepy. All right, man. We're almost there. Next category, Eric. You know we had to do it. Who gets the point? Is it Star or is it Amy?
I'm going Amy, and here's why. Don't get me wrong. Jamie Gertz was one of my biggest crushes growing up, but there's not really much to Star other than there to look pretty. I like that there's more to Amy. She's having the problem with Charlie. She's getting kicked to the side. She loves him, but she's tired of putting up with his crap. And then she's getting seduced by Chris Sarandon, which I really like. So we've had this buildup of liking Amy. And when she gets turned, you're like, shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And first time seeing this, you don't know if she's going to live or die.
Right.
Star's just there to dance and look pretty. And she does it well, but that's all there really is. So I'm going Amy.
All right. So you're saying Amy has more to her character.
Correct.
All right. Okay. Kill, how about you?
I agree with Eric that Amy does have more to her character, but I don't necessarily know if that's a good or bad thing. She kind of becomes a detriment and becomes another henchman to the bad guy, a deadly henchman, because Charlie is not going to kill her. Right. No matter how he postures, there's no way in the world he was going to kill her. Right. Star, on the other hand, she doesn't do much, but she does try to warn Michael a few times. And then when she even comes to his house and it's just like, hey, did you drink tonight? And this and that. This is a tough one. I guess I'm gonna go with Amy, but Amy is almost just as much a detriment as she is a character. She definitely has more of an arc than Star, but Star is just a concerned sister trying to protect her little brother, whether he's by blood or not. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Amy because there's more to her, because the movie lets there be more to her.
All right. Okay, Coriander, how about you?
So I don't really see how either of them have a lot to them. I'm trying to figure out how Amy has more than Star, and I kind of can't. So I'm gonna give it to Star.
Okay. All right. I think for me, I think both of these characters, they got some interesting things they do. I mean, obviously not a lot on either side. With Star, she, tries to warn Michael a couple times. She's the one that kind of brought him into the situation, kind of lure, and wanted to save Laddie at the end, asking Michael for his help. So, there was some good stuff with that. Amy, of course, is in a relationship that is kind of, wacky. She's not getting the attention she wants from Charlie. And so they're back and forth. And then the whole idea of trying to believe what he's saying about this neighbor that is a vampire and then being seduced by said vampire. Now, she did do some really cool stuff because she's the one that led the charge to go to Peter Vincent. So she had that whole scene where she was the lead, Evil was kind of just hanging around with her, but she's the one that convinced Peter Vincent, obviously with money, but she wanted to really help her boyfriend out. And then, of course, the fantastic scene at the end when she's turned. So I got to give the point to Amy because I do think she had more that she did and she was a more multidimensional character than Star. As cool as Star is, I think Amy had more that was going on. Plus, like you said too, Eric, and this is a great point. When you first watch it, you don't know if she's going to live or die, or if she's going to kill Charlie. You know, it was probably not going to happen, but Peter Vincent could have gotten killed. And, you know, and when I first saw it, I was wondering if he was going to make it. So, all right. Very cool. We got Dan in the chat too. What's up, Dan? Good to see you. Going with Star. Okay. Very, very cool. Melissa is going with Star as well. And we got Ronan going with Star. And we got Ginger Ninja in the house. What's going on? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. Very cool to have you here. Okay, next up, Michael or Charlie, Eric, who gets the point and why?
I don't know. I'm gonna go Michael. It's close. Like, I don't really, this is air quotes, really like either character. They just are kind of there for me. You know what I mean? But I think Michael does more in the finale. He does more to protect Star and Laddie, and I like his struggle more. Charlie's just the scared neighbor. Michael's caught in the middle and also has to deal with changing into a vampire. And that scene where he almost takes out Sam in the bathtub and Nanook just happens to be there to save him. I think there's more to Michael and Michael's struggle than Charlie just being the scared kid that no one will believe him type of thing.
All right. Kill, how about you?
This is an easy one. I got to go with Michael. Charlie, you know, he just gets caught being kind of pervy, creeping on Jerry a little bit, you know, bedroom window style. But he's just a guy that loves these horror movies and kind of gets caught up in his own horror movie. And he does the best he can to try to recruit help and get people to believe him. But Michael, on the other hand, he is actively being turned. So he's being seduced by the dark side. He's also trying to figure out what's going on and figure out how he can change it. He's also trying to fight the hunger, the thirst, by not killing his brother or other people. And then along with that, there's just also the comedy of him floating outside his brother's window and saying, dude, I'm your brother. Come on, don't do this to me. It's cool. You know, and just the comedy that ensues there between the two brothers. So I just think there's more gravitas to Michael, and he goes through much more. So,
all right. Coriander, how about you?
Oh, you know the answer to this one. Obviously, Michael.
Okay. All right. For me, I think both actors, William Ragsdale and Jason Patric, I thought they did a great job with what they were asked to do. You know, you got to remember, especially in the 80s, a lot of these movies, for better or for worse, you really had to hang your hat on the actors in the lead roles, you know, and both of these actors, I think, were likable enough that you would follow them on their journey. You were invested enough in what they were doing. Because if you're not, then you wouldn't really be able to get through the film. That being said, I think I would give the point as well to Michael because of the fact that it's not just what's going on with him, but also, you know, he's looking out for his little brother and eventually this girl that he's fallen for. And it's crazy because, again, we talked about this earlier. David's not trying to kill Michael. He's trying to recruit him. So there's a different type of struggle. You know, it's not necessarily a fear of death. It's more of he wants to do what's right. And he's also upset that he's been turned into what he called a murderer, right? A killer, I should say. So, you know, there's a lot of different things there's a lot of layers going on with Michael as a character. And so I'm gonna give this point to Michael and Jason Patric, what he did with that character. All right. Very cool. Ronan going with Michael. Rock and roll vamps. There you go. Let's see. We got Johnny in the chat. What's going on, Johnny? Good to see you. And by the way, if you guys haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps to support this stream to get it out to other folks. Saying Michael's not that developed as a character. He's just a bro with Charlie. Really feel his every move. Also, he's the better actor. Okay. All right. Well said. Well said. Next category, you knew we were going to go there. David or Jerry? Eric, who gets the point? Is it Kiefer Sutherland or Chris Sarandon?
Kiefer's great. This is 1985. Kiefer, like right off of Stand By Me. But how many times have I already praised Jerry? I think I've said it enough. I'm Team Jerry.
Okay. Kill, how about you?
Yeah, this is Kiefer's like character from Stand By Me, but on like crack. You know, he's still a bully, but now he's still a bully, but now he's an undead vamp bully. You know, and he look, Kiefer does bully good, okay?
Yes,
but Jerry does vampire better. And I'm not going to go into it, but I've already said it enough. The swag, the riz, the subtle, menacing terror, vampire Jerry.
Okay. Coriander, how about you?
Well, you know, it's just something about Jerry. You know, he's like, I don't know, kind of cheesy, and you know, I think I'd rather stick with, you know,
Just doesn't like
cracked
those
up.
sweaters. That's what it is.
No,
wow.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I'm all set. Yeah, I'm gonna go David.
Okay. All right. You know, for me, you know, when you look at these two characters, they're both really, really good, and they have their own way of doing things. Both have great moments with their dialogue and their delivery as well. Both are cool, but got to give the point to Jerry. He has more of that, and he's alone. He doesn't have a crew with him, and he doesn't have a master, father vampire either. And so, you know, it's focused on him more, and he carries it. He carries it by being, you know, suave, vicious, mean, fake, you know, all of that type of stuff. So I have to give the point to Jerry on this. Okay, all right. Ronan's going with David. Leslie's going with Jerry. Zach's in the chat. What's going on? Saying, wowza, Michael is terrible. There's no substance to him and his brother or him. And Star, what are you talking about? Wow, none at all. Okay, interesting. All right. Let's see. Ginger Ninja saying David, always David. All right. Okay. Ronan saying nobody named Jerry gets to be scary because of Tom and Jerry. Okay. Oh man.
Wow.
Let's see. Johnny saying just like Michael, David is underdeveloped. Okay. All right. Next category. The finale. Eric, the finale. Who gets the point?
Ooh. I'm gonna go Fright Night. As great as the Lost Boys finale is, what kind of turns me off is Edward Herrmann's character. I can't think of his name. The one that's going after Lucy, Max. I think Killian cracked a joke earlier. You know, he's like, when he like sticks out his tongue and just goes rah, that type of thing. It's not really that threatening. I like all the stuff before that, but I also think David's taken out way too easy. The finale of Fright Night is good. Like even after Billy's taken out, you have the confrontation with Jerry, you have the confrontation with the Bat, you have the confrontation with Amy, and I always love the trope of them, any vampire hunter or whatever breaking the windows to let the sunlight in.
Yeah.
That's just really, really cool, and to me much more fun. So I'm going Fright Night.
Okay, Kill. How about you?
Both finales were good. I mean, the Lost Boys one, they kind of throw everything at the kitchen sink, all the vamps of the Lost Boys and then their sire. But I got to go with Fright Night because the stakes were really there. Your loved one now is a child of the night. So now you're not only fighting one vampire, you're fighting two and his familiar, his lackey. And I'm just like Eric. I'm a sucker for the ones that are smart enough to use the sunlight. And they fought him just long enough that they're like, look over your shoulder.
Yeah, that's
and
a
he's
good
like,
point.
oh, you know,
They waited him out.
and that's classic vampire stuff, man. And I'm a sucker for that, you know. And he goes to retreat to his coffin and he's locked it from the inside, and you know. So yeah, I gotta go with Fright Night. It's more to it. The stakes feel more higher, and it's also fun.
All right. Okay, Coriander, how about you?
You know, I am gonna do Lost Boys. I mean, come on. Grandpa saves the day. So yeah.
Grandpa was lucky no one was standing in front of that door when he came charging in with those
Right.
stakes. You know what I mean? He could have taken out his daughter or any of the grandkids.
That's right.
But
He could have.
That's right. That's true. You know, for me, I think both finales were really good. One thing you said too, Eric, that really got me too, especially rewatching it. David got taken out way too early. I think they should have at least given Kiefer at least another minute of a fight, because like you said earlier too, Kill, like Michael was not at full strength. You know, now I know he's got the motivation to you know, amp up and so forth, but it was just kind of like, wow, I think they shorted the power of David. You know what I'm saying? I think he should have been given at least another minute.
The buildup was too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
For this final
yeah.
confrontation.
Right. Because even Michael was like, "Are you ready to face me, David?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, he is. Let's go." I'm getting my popcorn, and I got through 3 pieces, and then it was over.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
I
over
still got a
before
full.
the popcorn's done popping. You know.
That's right.
It takes like a minute and a half for the popcorn, and David's done in 45
he's
seconds.
gone.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you know, part of that was because of the swerve with Max.
Yeah.
And that is, you know, and that was a really cool reveal. I do like how they played against, you know, what we expected. But that being said, I think Fright Night's finale overall was checking those boxes more consistently, because like you said too, Kill, they waited him out after taking out Billy. They waited him out. And next thing you know, he has to flee to the basement. You know it's on when he goes down into his lair. And then you got the whole arc with Amy and what's going to happen with Amy. And so I just think overall the finale just checked the boxes a little bit better. I mean, Grandpa is awesome. Don't get me wrong. I see Ginger Ninja is a big fan of Grandpa. I am too. But all right. I mean, come on, man. So I'm going to edge this one out to Fright Night. Okay, let me jump to the chat. Melissa saying finale Lost Boys. Okay, Johnny, there you go. Welcome to Fright Night for real. I love that part. Ronan saying respect Fright Night fans. Ronan is going with Fright Night. Holy moly!
No
Who would have
lying.
thought? Well, there is no lying. We're going based on category, not what one we like better. That's the whole point of this series. Trickster going with Fright Night. Let's see. Paul is saying the Lost Boys, that twist, wow. Yeah, it was a really good twist, no doubt. Rachel saying Lost Boys all the way. Okay, very, very cool. Yeah, and Gina is a fan of Grandpa too. There you go. Oh man. And hey, we got Ronan coming in, gifting 5 memberships. All right.
Nice.
Thank you so much, man. We appreciate that. Seriously. Let's see who it went to. We got Nathan. We've got Aaliyah. We got Creep. Jason's back with us. David's back with us. All right. And guys, definitely give a shout out to Ronan. Absolutely, Rachel. It's definitely very cool. Definitely wow. Oh, that's so sweet. Ronan saying, Rachel, I was trying to get you one, but it just didn't land. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on, you know, YouTube will look at the live chat and randomly pick people that are usually around. So it could have gone that way, but sometimes it doesn't. So yeah. All right. Very, very cool. Thank you so much, Ronan. We appreciate that. Next category, and it's our final category, the choose category. This will be the final category for us. If you would want to put any points to the movie of choice, obviously, and I know sometimes it gets down to the wire. So if you want to do that, do it before we end this category, after we end the category, we can't take points, for either film. We still appreciate the super chat, but we can't go beyond that. Okay, Eric, you've got to give a choice. Is it Fright Night or The Lost Boys?
Love them both, but I gotta go Lost Boys. As much as I have been praising Fright Night tonight, I think the overall package of the Lost Boys is much more fun. And in an 80s vampire movie, I want fun. And Lost Boys has it from beginning to end. And now we can actually talk about the actual soundtrack. The soundtrack itself with the songs fit perfectly, even though, you hear Cry Little Sister 4 or 5 freaking times, in 90 minutes. The other songs are great. I highly recommend buying the soundtrack of the Lost Boys.
It is
a
good.
Fantastic soundtrack, but characters are great, and it's just so much fun. You know what I mean? So gotta go Lost Boys.
All right, Kill, how about you?
I love them both, but I'm gonna edge it out to Lost Boys. Both are great rides, but it's just something about Lost Boys, and maybe you guys will understand the sentiment here. This is Vampire Karate Kid.
Yeah, right.
He's just getting to town. He's not.
I never thought
running
of it that way.
Yeah, except he has a sibling, but he's not learning how to fight. He's being turned into a vampire. He's not on bicycles with the bad guys. He's on motorcycles with the bad guys. And it's just something about that. I'm in a new town. And there's a girl I'm attracted to, and he's just trying to be a kid and enjoy his summer with his mom and his brother and his granddad, and hijinks ensues. So yeah, I got to go with the Lost Boys.
All right. Okay, Coriander, how about you?
Killian said it. There is something about the Lost Boys that, I've seen it a million times, and it's just, I can keep watching it. So there's something about it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. For me, first of all, both of these movies are awesome. Let me just say that. They really do so much for vampire films, in my opinion. And it's even cooler the fact that they're from the 80s. You know what I'm saying? That the mid 80s. You can feel that in both films in their own way. Whether it's the suave, almost Miami Vice type of vibe with Jerry, or like you said, Kill, the Karate Kid, MTV vibe of the Lost Boys. It's all right there, and it is dripping with it. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. And Fright Night, I hadn't seen in a couple of years. It'd been a little while, and watching, I was like, and I think I was saying this before we went live. I was like, man, I gotta put this back in my rotation. This was just awesome, very, very cool. That said, I got to give the point to the Lost Boys, and you guys said it perfectly. The rewatchability of it. I've watched this movie since I was a little kid. I was a little kid watching The Lost Boys, and it just struck a chord in me all the way back in the 80s, and that has never changed through all of the decades. It's still as cool as it was back then. It still hits all the notes. It's crazy. And all these characters, it's just like this huge buffet. All these characters, these crazy characters, crazy moments, Grandpa, all these different things, the coolness, it just works. And that's why it has transcended generations and decades. No slight to Fright Night for sure, because Fright Night is freaking awesome, and this is a lot closer than what I originally thought in my own mind. But I'm going to edge this thing out to the Lost Boys because of the fact, just the rewatchability and all the different things that it does. So Lost Boys for me. Okay. All right. Let's catch up to the chat. And we got Barnabas coming in. Hey, Barnabas, welcome to the chat. Haven't seen you. I hope you're doing well. Came in with a $5 super chat. Fright Night, baby. Well, Barnabas, we will put the 5 points to Fright Night. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. It definitely needed it, no doubt. Johnny saying, by the way, I feel like Charlie is a mix between Michael and Sam. That's why his character is so good. The energy of youth mixed with the leading man element. That's well said. Yeah. Let's see. Ginger Ninja saying there's never really been a vampire movie like either of these. Very good point. Often imitated, never duplicated. Both great, but The Lost Boys is more fun. All right. We got Ronan coming again, just making sure. $5 super chat saying Lost Boys again, because I'm sure of it. All right, man. We'll put that to the Lost Boys.
Wow.
Ah, that's crazy, man. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. Johnny saying it's really hard to choose. I love them both so much. What makes Fright Night win in my case is because as a horror fan, it's the perfect concept. What if a vampire was next door? That is a great way to word it. It really is. Because again, Charlie was alone. He had no backup. Well said. Well said. Troy coming in, $5 super chat saying Lost Boys easy. Wow. It was my mom's favorite horror movie, and I have way too many memories of us together watching it. Okay. All right. And then it's 5 points to Lost Boys. Wow. Okay. So look, guys, let's do this. Let's do the tally. This is going to be interesting. This panel's been all over the place, just like the live chat has been. So let's do a little bit of a recap. Eric, I'll start with you as I count these points up, and let us know what you thought about this battle, man.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Love these movies so much. Lost Boys is a part of my childhood. I couldn't tell you how many times I've watched it. I really couldn't. Lots of fun beginning to end. Some characters I like more than others, but it's still a fun ride. And Fright Night, I haven't seen as much as one would think. As people know me and how much I love horror, maybe handful of times. And I didn't realize how good it was until this watch, where I had to actually sit down, pay attention, phones down, all that stuff. It's really, really good. Chris Sarandon is great. You know what I mean? And a lot of people just know him from Princess Bride or even, Child's Play. But he's so good. Even though I keep talking shit about Evil, it's still a fun movie. Likable characters. Roddy McDowall is great. And, they both, have an interesting legacy. They both have Fright Night has a remake with Anton Yelchin, which I think is pretty good. They both have okay sequels, but Lost Boys actually has a fun sequel in part 3, I think, when they reunite the Frog Brothers. So yeah, both are great, and both have decent movies following them as well that no one really talks about.
I couldn't agree more. These two movies are gems. Fright Night, they did do the remake, which it wasn't bad, but I still prefer the original. And there is a Fright Night 2 that pretty much picks up almost directly after the sequel and has much of the returning cast. And it
shout out to Julie Carmen.
Shout out to Julie Carmen. Look, Vampire Jerry's sister comes to town and she's not happy that her brother, an ancient vampire, is dead, and she goes at it like the Karate Kid sequel where they train Ralph Macchio how to fight like a Cobra Kai, and he doesn't realize it.
That's a good point.
Essentially, yeah, they do Charlie dirty in this one, so it's your turn to be seduced by the dark side. But both of these movies are really great rides. They are dripping with the 80s cheese, and I mean that in a good way.
Yep.
If you guys haven't seen these movies in a while, keep them in rotation. I recently, even before we did this, I bought a steelbook version, a 4K version of Fright Night. And it's my first time actually owning it because I do truly love that poster. But I unfortunately love the Lost Boys one slightly more. But if you have not watched these two guys, go check them out. It's a good time, both of them.
Yeah, this was a good one. And they're both great movies. And yeah, are you set? Do I need to say more?
Well, don't ask, man. Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay. All right. So let's see what we got going on here, man. This is really, really interesting. And actually, let me pull this up here. Okay. So we have a score for the live chat of 110 to 275 for the Lost Boys. We have a panel vote of 33 to 39 for Fright Night.
Ooh.
That means it's a tie, and we are going to the poll to break it.
Okay.
It is right down the middle. I counted it 3 times to make sure. So this is what we're going to do, guys. For you guys here, we're going to vote it out. I'm going to put the poll live. We're going to count it out for about a minute. Eric, I'll let you be in charge of the time.
You got it.
You guys have the power to vote this thing to figure out how to break the tie. All you have to do is vote for the film that you think should win in this battle of the 80s vampire films. Is it Fright Night or is it The Lost Boys? So all I'm going to say is just pick the winner. And we are about to have it live. Get ready. And here we go. It's live. Let's vote, guys. Let's vote. Vote, vote, vote. We got 30 people in here. Vote, vote, vote.
30 people in here. There's no way that this should tie like the last time we had a poll.
I know. The poll tied. Can you believe that? May saying both are amazing, so it's a win-win. Yeah, there you go. Barnabas going with Fright Night. Trickster's going with Lost Boys.
30 seconds.
Ronan's going with Lost Boys. Ronan single-handedly put Lost Boys over. The total score was 308 to 149. It's crazy.
15 seconds.
All right, guys.
10-second countdown.
Let's vote. Vote,
10,
vote, vote.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Call it.
We're going to call it. We only had 15 votes. Wow, guys. That is too bad. We only had half you guys vote. That's so weird when we have votes. Lost Boys has 60% to 40. So the Lost Boys wins. Yes, yes, yes. It was close. Ronan set it up from the beginning. It was crazy. The panel vote was really close. Only 5-point difference. I'm sorry. Yeah, 5-point difference in the panel vote. But the Lost Boys pulls it out. We only had half of the live chat voting, which is too bad. But hey, it is what it is. We called it. And there we are. There we are. Rachel said, I voted. And woo, Lost Boys. There you go. Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that. You know, when we do these types of things, we're doing it so you guys can be involved. You know, otherwise we could just call it by panel.
Yeah.
So, all right. Barnabas saying, no, it was close. It really was close. It really was. But thank you guys so much. We really, Ronan's happy.
Don't worry, Barnabas. I'm sure Fright Night will be back on Battle World sometime soon.
It absolutely may. It absolutely may. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with us. This was a lot of fun. Both of these movies are awesome. They really are. And we hope that you guys, whenever you get a chance to revisit them, do so, because both are great 80s vampire films. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps to support this stream. Obviously, if you're not subscribed to the Night Watch Zone, please do that. And Barnabas saying, okay, maybe next time. Very fun. Yeah, maybe next time. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe even a rematch, maybe. Who knows? All right, guys. So we will catch you guys later. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Have a good night. And as always, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.
Cheers.
Okay.